Welcome to the Green Lab Futures Talking Social Innovation podcast with your host, me, Scott Douglas. We'll be bringing you the conversations that we are having with industry, education and the community to help us develop and shape our views and understanding on the future roles of social innovation. We hope you enjoy. Welcome, Wendy Bezzina, to our one-on-one chat. I really appreciate you making the time to chat with us today.
Yeah, great to join you, Scotty.
So we're here to talk about and to do a bit more of a deep dive on your work, the work that you do with Latrobe Valley Enterprises and some of the other background work that you're involved with. During the panel discussions, we did talk a bit about Latrobe Valley Enterprises as a social enterprise. Not a pioneer, but pioneering and trailblazing in Gippsland. Would you agree with that as a statement?
Yeah, I guess we've been in business for over 54 years, coming up 55 this year. So yeah, I guess sort of in that social enterprise space, yeah, definitely one of the trailblazers. So started up as a sheltered workshop and has obviously developed into a commercial operation now. So 85 people with disabilities are employed under our banner. So yeah, so it is probably a bit of a trailblazer, yeah. And we're the biggest social enterprise in the whole of Gippsland.
Absolutely. And I must apologise. I always, when I introduced Latrobe Valley Enterprises, I think I talk accidentally about it being quite a new venture when it is 55 years old, like you mentioned there, and it's been running for a lot of time, mostly in Morwell or predominantly in Morwell?
Yeah, only in Morwell. So we used to be fully down the other end of the highway, down on Commercial Road at the very end, almost heading out to Moe. And now we're fully at the other end, almost heading out to Traralgon.
So the business model and that social enterprise aspect, if you can just walk us through there. So you mentioned that you employ people with disabilities primarily?
Yeah, so we have 85, as I said, with disabilities within our organisation. And that's what we have, that's our purpose, and that's what we've stayed true to. So it's really about providing them meaningful opportunities for employment. So they get to work across all of our departments. So they could be in grounds maintenance, or they could be in recycling, they could be in sign making, or they could be in our business support, working out at Tandara doing guest services. So they could be working across a number of different environments, and we tailor all our jobs around our individuals. So if they've got, a want to work outside, or they like working with their hands, or they prefer being inside, so we can offer them different roles depending on what they want to do. And then we focus on expanding their skill level once they come on board with us. So we work with a number of trainers who might provide verbal and physical training rather than trying to sort of sit down and do marked assessments and, filling in forms and that sort of thing. So we've worked to gain some forklift licenses, chainsaw licenses and stuff like that without them having to have the need to read or write.
That is really important, and it's such a human-centered design approach, which is based on the human at the center of the experience, which is really amazing. I remember during our panel conversation, you mentioned that statement that you don't have position descriptions because you tailor the works to the individual.
Yep. So we definitely try and get people in, let them see what they think what type of job they want to fit into in the organisation, and then work out what their capabilities are, and then really design their job around them and their needs.
Yeah, right. And so you mentioned about the different environments. So Latrobe Valley Enterprises, my first experience was about badges and getting signs made when I was at Gippsland, but you do so much more than that now.
Yeah, we've really expanded, and June last year we launched into the traffic sign industry. So that was a new stream for us. So we invested quite a significant amount of money in equipment, and now we're up and running, providing signage for major road projects in Melbourne. And we're working at the moment with the Parramatta Light Rail team in Sydney. And yeah, we've worked with a number of the even the Avon River Bridge project and across down on the South Gippsland Highway realignment as well. So we work with the large tier 1 construction companies, and providing traffic signs into those industries has been a real expansion of skills, but also an expansion of streams for sign making. So that's been a really great addition to the crew, and also with our Tandara Caravan Park. So we just took on in April, just at the start of COVID, we took on facilities management of Tandara just in April last year. So that was a really great addition to our crew as well. So we just do all the guest house services, do all the grounds maintenance, and manage the park for them.
Yeah, right. And so I really see that progression with the signs side of the business that you just mentioned. And I think my experience was in 2000 and must have been 2008, 2009, when I had to go and order my name badge. And it was, I think there was a lot of kind of growth in the social enterprise space then. And I'll say it was kind of initial talkings around Gippsland, around how that space would look. With the work that Guest has done, you've really placed yourselves in that position of leading the pack with the growth of the sign making business and placing that social procurement really front and center as well, which has been a state government policy. Have you seen that play a key role with the way that you've been able to really transform and grow out that business model, Wendy?
Yeah, and it's really why we went into the traffic sign space. So we sort of could see with the introduction of the Victorian Social Procurement Framework and then all the major roads projects that were coming up in Victoria, we could really see that was a bit of a niche space, not only for us, but for social procurement as a whole. So we, our board were fantastic, got on board with it. I also went out and sourced a 3-year contract before we actually went and purchased the equipment. And so got that all set up, put in place. And then, so we worked quite closely with DM Roads as well, both on, doing traffic signs, but now we also do some grounds maintenance and recycling for those guys. But we work with them on the MRAMs in Melbourne, which is the Metropolitan Roads Asset Maintenance services. So we went out sourcing that first to kind of build that business for the traffic sign, but we could really see it was a bit of foresight to see that this was going to be a ongoing sort of 8 to 10 year plan for the organisation to spend the money and invest in that and put ourselves in that niche market space.
I really love that example of, because often people go, what's first, the chicken or the egg? You went and sourced the work, that's really powerful, to land it and then to build around it, which is, I hope, a model that other ventures use, rather than trying to scale and kind of working out, oh gosh, who are we scaling to? Because you then had, this is where we've got to get to in order to deliver that works. And a 3-year contract, far out, that's awesome.
Yeah, so it was really good. And I guess, working with DM Roads was really good because we had that opportunity where we sort of put that agreement in place, and then we were, putting together samples and putting things together. And they were really working with us for that first month just to bed down what they needed. And then once we got it all in place and, met all the standards and, so we were on a high-speed train ride trying to catch up on, what the Vic Road standards were. And, we ended up going and working with 3M as well. And so we became a 3M Diamond Certified Partner, which we're the only social enterprise in Australia with that. And that's for the print industry. And we've got a Finsbury Green 3-star rating as well, which is a print industry environmental rating. Yeah, so we went and sort of, went to the nth degree to try and really maximise on our, value proposition to all of our customers as well. But yeah, DM Roads were really great to work with, and they really helped us get it off the ground.
And I'm just thinking as well, like when you apply for future contracts and you've got those badges on the works, that's really credible stamps to have of approval of the work that you do, which is really amazing.
Yeah, and it really does, for us now, sort of going forward, and we've got all these accreditations, but also then, our proof of evidence is on the ground, on the roads. We're working with Department of Transport now and Public Transport Victoria and a number of bigger companies. So we're working with them and they've seen the evidence of our products. So it's really great to see all of those, I think, stars aligning. So, the Victorian Social Procurement Framework and our little niche market, and then us reaching all those sort of highs with accreditation. So everything's just, come together. Lots of planning, lots of running, lots of running.
I can only imagine, but the point that I keep coming to with the Latrobe Valley Enterprises example is that there is and there was and there still is this perception with social enterprise that the quality isn't quite the same as apparently as a for-profit business. Has like that kind of model stereotyping, have yourself and Latrobe Valley Enterprises been up against that in competitive tenders or just with other competition?
Yeah, I think when I first joined the organisation, the sort of feel and the kind of feedback we were getting was, you're just a disability organisation, so it's okay if you don't meet quality standards. And it's like, actually, no, we're accredited in quality, safety and environment, but we also now have those extra things. So for us, it was about sort of setting that bar a lot higher and making sure that all of our accreditations sort of back us up, and now our products out on the road, that backs us up as well. But yeah, we did have that sort of pushback originally, even as far as that we're not a big company, we're 115 strong, but a lot of people didn't see us as a big company, and so they worried about our capacity and our ability to deliver on major roads projects. But we've proven that we can do that, and where we can't deliver on a major project, in the past, and what we're doing at the moment is partnering with other organisations. So we partner with other social enterprises where we need to expand that capacity, and they've got a little bit of capacity, we've got a little bit of capacity. Let's join it together and let's both be successful. So yeah, so we look to sort of, we work outside the box. So we don't do things normally at LVE. So we tend to try and make it as successful as it can by thinking differently.
Absolutely love that. The hybrid model of how we scale work is becoming more and more important, especially with this social procurement framework, and to have those relationships. Gosh, it's a real credible opportunity to express to partners when you're lining up to do work, and they say, hey, we need a big company, and you get to bring another one together, and hey, we're here, we can do this work. I think that's a real testament to what you've been able to shape, and where the government is really wanting social enterprise to kind of fit that mark. I think the conversation back in 2010 to 2014 was very much, can social enterprise do it? And now we've got a case study of how it's how it's happening. Yeah, which I think not just important for Victoria, but it's important for Gippsland to see that model in place, and to see, I suppose, the organisation modelling that you've been able to build. What are some of the future opportunities that you see for LVE?
We're always looking, what's the next thing for us? So we're always sort of looking at 3 to 5 years ahead, and sort of what's on the radar. And we try and break that down by department as well. So what's on, we've worked, obviously introduced the traffic signs for sign making, which has really expanded that, and we'll work to bed that down and make that a really great business stream. But we're now looking for, say, recycling. We're looking, the container deposit scheme will be coming up in 2023. So we'll be looking at how we can participate in that. And, we're already expanding our plastics recycling. So we already do soft plastics we were doing clear. We've now expanded and found a new stream in coloured plastics. So we've just started working on that in the last 2 months. So that's a new stream for there. But yeah, we'll be looking to join the container deposit scheme and become one of the sort of, businesses where people can come and bring their bottles and, get cash or donate it to charity. So yeah, so we'll be looking to participate in that, and obviously that aligns with our recycling department. And our grounds maintenance, we're looking with those guys too, that we're expanding into more facilities maintenance. So we already look after the Telstra contract all the way to the New South Wales border, but looking to do, looking to do not only sort of the grounds maintenance, but we do, you know, fence repairs, and we change light globes in their stations and things like that. So we do graffiti removal and a lot of other jobs as well. So we're looking to really expand that and, you know, provide more services for all of our customers. And so we're already there. We're already on the, you know, on their land and going up there and traveling and servicing the grounds. We might as well do everything else while we're there as well. So it just makes a whole heap more sense. So we're trying to expand those guys in there. You know, coverage and footprint, and so there in grounds we partnered with a Melbourne social enterprise to do. So we picked up a statewide contract for grounds maintenance for DHHS. Yeah, so we. Wow. Yeah, so that's a really big contract as well. But again, yeah, we try and do everything for them. So it's not just grounds maintenance.
I like that idea of not just doing one when you can do the whole, like the whole gamut of kind of maintenance support, which is like it's becoming that real solution business for the larger contracts. The future in the transitioning Gippsland and with the base in the Latrobe Valley in Morwell, what do you kind of foresee changing, or what do you see as being the opportunity in the valley over the next couple of years?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of opportunities, and I think if we look at sort of the broader scale, not only for LVE, but just, you know, what's going on in our region, you know, we've got a really great food bowl. So, you know, expanding on that and, you know, looking at things that can support even some of the local food industry, but also some of the local, even, you know, craft beers and stuff like that. So looking to expand all of that as far as that, you know, our transport and logistics can definitely expand. You know, we've got a very strong industrial and, you know, almost manufacturing side of things with our skill set from the power industry. It's that we could expand a lot of the manufacturing and make more of a hub here, but we've definitely got some really strong organisations already in that space. Here in Morwell, you'd be surprised what's manufactured in Morwell. It's really quite amazing. Some of the guys like Keel Industries and some of the steel manufacturers and stuff around our area. And then you've got, you know, obviously we've got tourism, and there's a lot of different sectors. I think that there's so much opportunity in Gippsland, and it's actually already here. We just need to, you know, connect it all and promote it all. But I think there's so many opportunities in our region, and everyone's becoming, I think, a lot more positive about opportunities, you know, beyond fires and floods and everything that's been going on and is going on in Traralgon today. We've got floods everywhere. So, yeah, it's incredible, but I think there's a really positive outlook for the region.
Absolutely. And I feel that energy as well. Like in West Gippsland, we're now seeing people looking in their own backyard and kind of checking out like all of the sites to see around, not just around Warragul, but say for Warragul people travelling to Droom people travelling to Warragul and so forth. And I see how in the Latrobe Valley, having grown up in Hazelwood North, that there is this real kind of ownership of what is the future of the valley in Gippsland, because coming out of say 2020 and this COVID wave, it's like it is likely, as heartbreaking as it is to look at your screensaver of Italy in the background, some of these localized options are going to become kind of the front and center of what we're doing. That positive energy that we're talking about, like we're seeing it down here in West Gippsland with the, I suppose, the towns of Warragul and Droon. It really now encouraging that exploration between the two, and even around the neighbourhoods and the backyards and the suburbs or the towns that are just down the road. And I see that that's now really becoming a key focus within the Latrobe Valley and the wider Gippsland, and how that hopefully this shift of the localised tourism becomes a real driving force for where where we go and explore over the next couple of years. Do you see that really moving down in the valley? And
yeah, I think people are really starting to sort of look at, they're really grateful for living in a regional area. But yeah, being in Gippsland, being able to travel up to East Gippsland, and there's, more opportunities to actually get accommodation because all the Melbourne people aren't coming in. So there's opportunities for all the locals to go and, book themselves in and get in. So it's really great to see, people are sharing on Facebook that they've got accommodation for the long weekend coming up. And it just means, anyone locally here can go and travel. So we've got that freedom, thank goodness. And we can travel around. But people are really sort of, I think, even shopping more locally now because, I can't remember the last time I went to Melbourne shopping. It have to be before COVID. And I'm a shopper for anyone that knows me. So shopping locally, everyone's getting everything locally and just supporting local business. And really, I think the communities are really rallying together and working out ways to do things together and make each other's success a shared success. So I think you're really starting to see that energy and positivity, like you said.
Absolutely. And as we'll start to wrap this up now, and as a part of this kind of final thought that we always like to leave the conversation with, this role of kind of social innovation in Gippsland, and I like to really point out the example and the strong leadership that you're providing with this in Latrobe Valley Enterprises. How do you see that playing out in Gippsland in the next couple of years? Do you see that being something that more businesses will adopt to maybe a for-purpose type business model approach, or the social enterprise like what Latrobe Valley Enterprises has been built to?
Yeah, I think, one of my things with social enterprise is just always staying true to your purpose. So companies, I encourage them always to do that. But one of the things that even we're doing is looking to encourage employers to pick up a person with a disability and employ them and, look at ways in which they can do that. So I think, there's opportunities for organisations to have that sort of social impact within their own business, and not necessarily having to become a social enterprise, but really just trying to start with at least one person and start to create that social impact, in a small way, and then sort of scale that out if they want to. But I think there's opportunities for, there's a lot more, as we'll talk about, more community focused. So I think a lot of people looking inwardly at what are the community needs and looking to either provide social enterprises that can fit that need, but also ways in which they can assist their community. And one of the ways is, just employing somebody from a disadvantaged background, or, sort of unemployed youth, or people with disabilities. There's a whole heap of different ways in which people can engage and provide social impact without being a social enterprise.
Wow, that's an awesome final statement, and I really feel that we've got some good directional leaders. Thank you to yourself, Wendy, and the work that you're doing with Latrobe Valley Enterprises. Thank you for taking the time to have this chat with us, and we really appreciate it.
Yeah, always good to chat to you, Scott.
No worries. Thank you very much, Wendy.
Thanks. See ya.